This form is the Family Law Declaration under Uniform Child Custody Jurisdiction and Enforcement Act. If there's no minor children in your case, and let me specify, no minor children with this party that you are filing these papers with, you do not need to complete this form. In the very first top left corner box, you're going to enter your name, telephone number, address, and enter in pro per next to where it says attorney for and name. Again, if you have an attorney, you shouldn't be filling out these forms on your own. In the second section where it says Superior Court of California, County of, you're going to enter in our county is Fresno. The mailing address is 1130 O Street, Fresno, California 93724. The next section, you're going to print the name of the petitioner and the respondent, and you need to make sure that you are using the same name exactly as it was on the summons, petition, and any other corresponding forms. If there's a middle initial or middle name, make sure you enter that as well. The next section where it says guardianship of, you're going to leave that section blank. This form is used for a couple of different cases or case types. The next section where you'll see I am a party to this proceeding to determine custody of a child. If you are alleging domestic violence or child abuse and your address is unknown to the other party, you may mark this box and the confidential boxes where the children's addresses would be entered. So for the addresses under the child's name, this is going to give the information for the past 5 years working backwards. The beginning and end date the child lived at the address, from when to when at that address. For the dates you listed, print the city and state where the child lived. Name of the person or the adult the child lives or lived with and the physical address. You're going to enter the relationship, which means how the adult is related to the child. For example, mother or father. If you have only one child from this relationship, you will leave blank section B. If you have another child or a second minor child from the relationship, you're going to enter the child's name, place of birth, date of birth, and sex as the same way you did above. And the children have lived together at all times. You can mark the box next to where it says residence information is the same as given above for child A. If you have more children and need additional space, you're going to mark box C, and you're going to use another sheet of paper and mark at the top of it attachment 3C and print the additional information. If you have more than 2 children from this relationship, mark box D and complete form FL-105A, which I have also included in this document preparation tutorial. Moving on to page 2 of this form, obviously you're going to write the name or case name of your case at the top. In this form, you can either write the last name with a small v dot and the other last name, or if you have the same last name as the other party, you can write Smith Dissolution, and make sure if you have a case number, you enter it there. If this is a new case, you'll obviously leave that blank, and the clerk will stamp it when the clerk files your forms. Number 4 says, do you have information, or have you participated as a party or as a witness or in some other capacity in another court case or visitation proceeding in California or elsewhere concerning a child subject to this proceeding? These questions are very important. If there are no other cases regarding custody or visitation in this case in California or any other state or country, mark the no box and skip down to section 5. If you do have information regarding another case involving any of the children, again, this is minor children in this case, mark the yes box. If you check yes, mark the box next to the type of the other case, the case number, the court's name, county, and state. Next, write the date of the order and the name of each child involved in the other case and how you were involved and what is now happening in that case. On question number 5, it's going to ask if there are any domestic violence restraining orders or protective orders that are now in effect. If there are, you need to list them and you need to attach a copy of the orders if you have one and provide the information it's requesting. Down on number 6. On number 6, it says, do you know of any other person who is not a party to this proceeding who has physical custody or claims to have custody of or visitation rights with any child in this case? If you mark yes, you need to provide the information. If you mark no, you need to just date and sign your forms. If the children in this case live with either the mother or father, and there's no one else that claims to have custody or visitation rights to the children, obviously you're going to mark the box that indicates no. If the children are not living with one of the parents, and that other person may have custody or visitation rights with the child, you need to mark yes in that box. Then print the person's name and address, mark the box that describes what the person has or claims to have, and the children's names that are involved in that case. If you're going to attach any additional pages to give more information, print the number of pages that will follow on the section where it asks number of pages attached. So if you're attaching a court order, a restraining order, or anything else, you need to make sure you mark that box number 7 and put the number of pages that are accompanying this form. Now we're going to move on to the 3rd page of the Uccjea, which you're only going to use or need if you have more than 2 children. If you have more than 2 children, you're going to need to enter the case name, obviously at the top, case number if it's not a new case. Just fill in basically the exact same information, and if the information regarding residency is the same for the previous 2 children, then you're going to go ahead and just mark the box regarding the residency information being the same. You do need to complete the information regarding the child's name, place of birth, date of birth, and sex. And this concludes the form FL-105 Uccjea.